Woodcraft, helping you make woodwork.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Any kind of wood you want. Any kind of wood you want. So we're just going to kind of start finding a nice pleasing shape here. You notice these easy wood tools make quick work of this blank. Well, that is a bright pink, isn't it? They make really nice handles for ice cream scoops. Pizza cutters too. Okay, just like with any other tools, you do need to adjust the position of your rest relative to your workpiece. Again, stay a little bit further out with your easy wood tools if you want to. This little finisher here makes doing these coves very easy. I'm sorry, sir, I didn't hear the first part of your question.
What is the difference between that finisher and the one you started with to rough it out? Straight across.
One is square and one is round.
Okay.
The gentleman wondered about the different shapes of the tools. The rougher, which is this one here, has a square edge on it. This tool can actually be quite aggressive if you want it to be. And it essentially is, I guess you could call it a roughing gouge, a replacement for a standard roughing gouge. It's also kind of a replacement for your spindle gouge too. Because you can do, you know, all of the things that you would do with a spindle gouge, you can do with the rougher. The finisher is, it really works a little bit more like a skew chisel does as far as the way it cuts, because it really does give you a nice smooth surface.
So you'd have a minimal amount of sanding, is that the idea?
Bingo. Yeah. Yeah.
One of the tools I've got to sand forever.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that could be a function of the type of wood you're turning. Your tools may perhaps be getting dull. Normally, if your tool gets dull, you tend to push a little harder into the wood, which creates a rougher cut. And so, you know, or it may be none of the above or all of the above. You know, it's kind of hard to tell. But with these guys, you know, this one's, like I say, this one's called the finisher. And of course, it's sharp all the way around, so when the edge you're using gets dull, loosen the set screw, give it a little bit of a turn, tighten it back up, and you got a brand new fresh edge.
You can get replacements for those and all that.
Yeah, replacement cutters for the easy wood tools run, I think, $13 to $18.
$16.95.
Yeah.
Can you get by
Yeah.
with those two tools, or do you need more? Like a pointed one or something like that?
Well, there is a tool called the detailer, and it does have a diamond-shaped tip, okay? And it's basically for doing, well, you can do beads and coves with it if you want.
Parting tool.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
That's what they refer to it as.
it's not really a parting tool. Easy Wood actually has a parting tool now.
They do?
Yes, and Nick's going to grab one. We have a demo one back there. The parting tool is very nice. Very nice indeed. It cuts like nobody's business. But this is not really a parting tool. If you need to do things like grooves and small beads and coves and things like that, small detail work,
Yeah.
the detailer is your tool.
Now, do you use the square, or there's a square with a little bit of round to it? But
Yes, the radius.
radius. Okay.
Yes, the radius cutters are made to fit on the roughers. This one, for instance, if I had the radius cutter on it, it's a 2-inch radius. So it just barely sweeps the corners back. and it makes it a little bit less aggressive. It doesn't quite turn it into one of these, but it's closer. It is closer. Here comes our demo parting tool. Yes, Clayton.
Oh, what do you get done there gonna last?
Here's your parting tool. It's an 1/8 of an inch cutter. It's used like all of the rest of them, just straight in. Now you do need to, you can see, because of the design of it, it sits a lot higher. And so you do need to drop that tool rest down. I mean, you can see, I would imagine anyway, from sitting right where you are, you can see that my cutter is way above the center. So we would need to drop that tool rest down some. Sure. Yeah, like you would use on a metal lathe, yeah. Now, because of the design of the cutter, which of course is still carbide, but because of the design of it, there's only the one edge. The rougher, for instance, has 4 sharp edges. But because of the design of the tool and the design of the cutter, there's only one cutting edge on there. To compensate for that, EasyWood includes a second cutter head when you buy the tool. So, you know, just like with the detailer, you only have two cutting edges on the detailer. You'll have essentially 2 cutting edges with your parting tool. Now this tool, you can actually part through something up to 4 inches in diameter. That's pretty good size. 4 inches in diameter. Pepper grinders are generally going to be, you know, 4 inches or less in diameter. So you could part all the way through a pepper grinder with the parting tool. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
No?
It's probably dust. These blanks create a very fine dust. If it's smoking, it's not something I'm seeing up here. It's not something I'm
I
smelling.
only see it because of your dark shirt.
Uh-huh.
You know, like, I guess these guys over here, you know, most of them would be a lot lighter.
Mm-hmm.
But it just looks like a little bit of...
I suspect it's probably dust,
Okay.
which could make that appearance. Yeah. Okay, we obviously have a question here about the parting tool. You have a handy dandy little tool. Really, it does. It just pops right out. I suppose you have to have the pins in the right direction. Perhaps I don't. I haven't actually taken one of the cutters out of one of these yet.
It's a new cutter.
It is.
I mean, it's a new design.
Brand new tool. We'll have to figure that out though. All right. So now I just want to very gently round over some of these sharp edges that I've got here. Come in and kind of dress up this very bottom here. Like so. You know, slow down for sanding here to around 1100. You always want to slow down when you do your sanding, especially if you're using something like an acrylic or one of the other families of plastics. You don't want to generate too much heat with it. Sanding will generate a lot of heat. Hi.
What are you doing?
I'm making a Christmas tree ornament.
We're making sure he does it right.
That's right. And so far, I think I'm on track. Pardon? Oh, 180. I generally start with 180 grit and work my way up to 400. And that's about all you need with a project like this. I mean, you can go much higher in grit than that if you want to. I don't think it's really necessary on something like this. But certainly if you wanted to use the product called Micro Mesh and go all the way through 12,000, there'd be no reason why you couldn't. I'm really not sure why you would want to. You see all that dust now, Clayton? Is that what you were seeing before? I thought maybe it would be. I always like to wipe off the dust from sanding, because remember that sanding dust can very often contain some of the grit from your sandpaper. And if you go to your next grit without cleaning off all of the previous grit, you may not be able to get rid of all your scratch marks because you're sanding again, essentially. So I always like to dust it off, make sure it's good and clean.